Cedar Park, Texas, the Texas Stars made a strong, late-season push to secure home ice advantage in the first round of the Calder Cup Playoffs, but they surrendered it after splitting the first two games of their series against Ontario in Cedar Park. Stars won the series opener, which was a back-and-forth affair, 4-3, in overtime Thursday night. But Ontario pushed back in Game 2 on Friday. The Stars couldn't cash in on their chances, and the Reign tied the series 1-1 with a 5-1 win. The Pacific Division semi-final series, which is a best-of-5, now shifts to California for Games 3 and 4. We play again Sunday, and we have to be the urgent team. It's a best-of-3 now, said Texas coach Derek Laxdal. They've got home ice, and we've got to go in there and win 1 or 2. Game 1, Texas 4, Ontario 3, OT. The Stars found themselves in familiar territory in Game 1 of the series Thursday night, overtime. Texas went beyond regulation in 28 of its 76 regular season games, and they needed overtime to take down Ontario on Thursday night. Brian Flynn scored 1:55 into the extra period to give the Stars a 4-3 victory and a 1-0 series lead. We talked about overtimes in between periods, said Texas coach Derek Laxdal. The only difference is that it is 5-on-5 and not 3-on-3. It was a hard-fought game, a typical playoff game and a battle right to the end. That's playoff hockey, said Texas center Jason Dickinson. I wouldn't expect anything else than us taking it to overtime. It's just what we've done all year. We've got no quit in our group, and we don't seem to be fazed by the pressure. Mike McKenna stopped 41 shots for Texas while Sheldon Dries, Denis Gurianov, and Travis Morin also scored goals. Ropa Hintz had 2 assists. Hintz and Gurianov, 2 of Dallas' top prospects, helped set up Flynn's game-winner, turning an offensive zone face-off loss into a win and then a game-winning goal. I lost a face-off dead clean, and Ropa jumped on it and somehow got a tie-up. Dennis jumped in, and they did a good job getting the puck to the net, said Flynn. I just found a quiet spot and was fortunate to get a bounce right to me. Hintz and Gurianov also teamed up on a big goal in the third period that tied the game 2-2. With a 2 on the rush, Hintz set up Gurianov, who scored off a one-timer at 8:34 of the third. You look at Denny's goal with Ropa, that's an NHL goal, said Laxdal. That's just speed through the neutral zone and then kicking a pass out with a one-timer. The Stars got off to a good start, taking a 1-0 lead into the game on a goal by Dries at 3:17 of the first. But Ontario pushed back with a strong second period and took a 2-1 lead on goals by Justin Auger and Johnny Brodzinski. After Gurianov had tied the game at 2-2 in the third, Morin gave the Stars a 3-2 lead with 6:38 remaining. But the Reign rallied to tie. With goaltender Cal Peterson out of the net for an extra attacker, Matt Moulson tied the game with 1:16 remaining to send the game to overtime where Flynn, with some help from Hintz and Gurianov, would win it for Texas. Game 2, Ontario 5, Texas 1. There wasn't a lot of drama in Game 2 on Friday. Ontario scored 2 quick goals late in the first period and never looked back, skating away with a 5-1 victory. Brian Flynn scored the lone goal for Texas and goaltender Mike McKenna stopped 27 of 31 shots. The Stars had their chances in the game but not much luck in cracking Ontario goaltender Cal Peterson, who stopped 28 of 29 shots. Texas went 1-6 on the power play, and the one goal came late in the third with the Stars already down 3-0. We had our looks, Texas captain Curtis McKenzie said. Their goalie played really well. At the end of the day we knew they were going to be a desperate team and we needed more urgency coming out of the gate. After getting no power play chances in Game 1 of the series, the Stars got 2 in the first period but couldn't cash in. Ontario went on a power play late in the first, and Philippe Millet tallied to stake the Reign to a 1-0 lead at the 16:33 mark. Less than 3 minutes later, Matt Luff scored to push the Ontario lead to 2-0 with 28 seconds left in the period. The second goal at the end of the period really stung, said Texas coach Derek Laxdal. We were chasing the game from there. The Stars played well in the second, outshooting the Reign 16-9 and holding an 8-2 advantage in scoring chances, but Ontario scored the only goal. After the Reign won the race for a loose puck in the Texas zone, T.J. Hansik scored to push the Ontario lead to 3-0. Texas finally broke through with 5:33 left in the third when Flynn scored on the power play to cut the lead to 3-1. But Melier scored 48 seconds later to make it a 4-1 game. Defenseman Oscar Fanberg added an empty net goal to make it a 5-1 final. When you look at the overall game, you can tell they wanted it more than we did. They were going to respond, and we talked about it, Laxdal said. Give them credit, they got a split, which is what they wanted. Now, we've got to go into their building and try to get the first one. In notes, Ontario is a big, heavy team and plays a physical game, and that was evident in the first 2 games of the series. There are no available stats on the number of hits in the games, but there were 3 delays on Thursday and Friday for panes of glass being dislodged by hits, including one by Stars forward Jason Dickinson on Ontario defenseman Oscar Battenberg. Dickinson left Friday's game due to a lower body injury. Coach Derek Laxdell said Dickinson is day-to-day. The Stars and Rain will play the first 4 games of the series over a span of 6 days. A 5th and deciding game, if necessary, would come 6 days after Game 4 because neither team's building is available until then. Texas was 1-6 on the power play in the first 2 games and 4-5 on the penalty kill. Texas Linufira the lines and defense pairs Texas used in the first 2 games of the series. The lines were juggled from the first game to the second. The defense pairs stayed the same. Game 1 lines Travis Morin, Justin Dowling, Joel L'Esperance, Curtis McKenzie, Jason Dickinson, Brian Flynn, Remy Ellie, Ropa Hintz, Dennis Gurianov, Samuel Auberg, Sheldon Dries, Colin Markuson. Game 2 lines